Philippe Léglise Costa. I now invite to the table the Assistant Director General and Head of Europe and Middle East Division of Swiss Agency for Development and Cooperation, Didier Chassot. I now invite to the table the Vice Minister, Director General of Political Affairs at the Ministry of Foreign Affairs of the Netherlands, Marcel de Vink.
Good to see you.
I now invite to the table Véronique Petit, Director General for Multilateral Affairs, Foreign Affairs Ministry of Belgium.
Thank you very much. See you later. Thank you.
So this concludes the signatures for this first part of the ceremony. So I will invite all the contributors to Pégase to a family photo with the Commissioner, Dubravka SUICA, and His Excellency Mohammad Mustafá, Prime Minister of the Palestinian Authority. I therefore invite the participants to join on stage. Yes, in this order. So first I call His Excellency José Manuel Álvarez, Minister of Foreign Affairs for the European Union and Cooperation of Spain. His Excellency Lars Løkke Rasmussen, Minister of Foreign Affairs of Denmark. His Excellency Konstantinos Kambos, Minister of Foreign Affairs of the Republic of Cyprus. Her Excellency Ellen McEntee, Minister of Foreign Affairs and Trade of Ireland. Her Excellency Inés Domingos, Secretary of State for European Affairs of Portugal. Her Excellency Maria Tripodi, Vice Minister of Foreign Affairs and International Cooperation of Italy.
We have people on the other side who have more space.
Should I move?
Yes.
Thank you.
Good afternoon. Good afternoon to everybody. Dear Excellencies, dear ladies and gentlemen, dear Prime Minister Mustafá, welcome to Brussels. Thank you for being here for this second meeting of the Palestine Donor Group. Your presence here shows that we are fundamentally committed to Palestine and Israel living in peace side by side. This commitment is crucial, especially right now. 8 months on, the ceasefire in Gaza remains fragile, and the situation on the ground for civilians is not getting better. At the same time, the West Bank is under extreme pressure from settler violence and from a financial crisis crippling the Palestinian economy. As this is happening, the Palestinian Authority continues to manage its finances in emergency mode with tax revenues withheld by Israel. 3 weeks ago, I was in Israel and Palestine. In meetings with Minister Saar and President Herzog, I said, a stable Palestinian Authority is essential for peace and stability in the region. And this stability is in the interest of Israel as well. Prime Minister, I look forward to hearing about your progress on the important reforms that you are implementing, from finance to governance, from digital access to the business environment. We are aware of the great difficulties you face. So I want to recognize your effort. It is crucial that these reforms fully take hold. On social protection, reforms are intended to end payments based on prisoners' status. We await the result of the ongoing EU audit to make sure that social allowances arrive to those who need them most and not fall into the wrong hands. You have also been working on revising textbooks for grades 1 to 4. We see real progress in the alignment of the school curriculum with UNESCO education standards. The work on the other grades needs to continue. Our support to the Palestinian Authority will remain steadfast, going beyond symbolic statements, focusing on concrete outcomes. We are moving ahead with the implementation of our 1.6 billion euro multi-annual program for the Palestinian recovery and resilience for this year and for the next year. And since 2008, Pegase, a mechanism that is the cornerstone of our support, has been used by 21 donors to provide over 3.8 billion euro. This work is not stopping. Last May, we committed 310 million euro for 2026 and 2027 through Pegase. I would like to thank our partners who contribute to Pegase. This is testament to how effective and reliable the tool is. Since our last meeting, we saw an additional 41.7 million euro in pledges, and more is in the pipeline, because this funding is a lifeline. Which brings me to Gaza. I am grateful to Mr. Kushner, Mr. Lightstone, and Mr. Mladenov for being with us here today. Because the situation is dire, and we need all hands on deck as we implement UN Security Council Resolution 2803. The immediate challenge is enormous, specifically on disposing of solid waste and water sanitation. During my visit to Israel, I spoke to Minister Saar, and we agreed on access for 2 actions addressing these challenges. Our trusted partners in UNICEF and UNDP are already working on deploying these projects soon. Because, it must be said, without water, without sanitation, there can be no sustainable human life. The people of Gaza cannot afford for us to wait. The children in Gaza cannot afford for us to wait. We must add to the crucial work that our partners are implementing on the ground, as we will see in a video UNICEF will show us in a few moments. We must act now, so we are pushing ahead, uniting behind the Team Gaza initiative for early recovery. What does this mean? It means that we are ready to quickly deploy early recovery actions for a total nearly 900 million euro, or to transfer $1 billion. Restoring basic social and economic services, rehabilitating critical infrastructure, and strengthening governance in Gaza. We coordinated this vital funding. Now we must work to guarantee access and safety for our staff, material and assets, together with the Board of Peace. Liaising with the National Committee for the Administration of Gaza, the Palestinian Authority and Israel together, and working with the many people in civil society organizations, both Israeli and Palestinian. During my visit, I saw their crucial work to build peace and social cohesion in the region, and we must support them. I would also like to express my gratitude to our partners, Spain, Denmark, the United Kingdom, Germany, Norway, Finland, Italy, the Netherlands, France, Japan, Switzerland, Sweden and Belgium, the European Investment Bank and the World Bank. Your participation is crucial and sends an important signal. Our donor community is committed to acting in a unified, strategic way for peace, aligning finance and planning with reliability and credibility. This is especially important as more countries have expressed their political endorsement and interest to join us in the coming months. For example, Australia, Canada, and Ireland. This is only the start. The needs are immense. We must build on this first step, committed as we are to the two-state solution, the only real solution that leads to peace. And now, I have the honor to hand over to Prime Minister Mustafá for his opening remarks. The floor is yours, please.
Thank you, Commissioner SUICA, Excellencies, Ministers, Ambassadors, representatives of international organizations, ladies and gentlemen. I'd like to express my sincere gratitude to Commissioner SUICA for her leadership and commitment in bringing us together today, and to the European Union for its continued partnership with Palestine. I'd also like to extend my deep gratitude to all partners, donor countries, international organizations, and international financial institutions for your steadfast support to the Palestinian people and the Palestinian government during one of the most challenging periods in our modern history. Your continued support represents a shared commitment to the two-state solution and just and lasting peace in our region. Friends and partners, the devastating war in Gaza has left unprecedented destruction, immense human suffering, and a set of political, economic, social, and security challenges. In the West Bank, including East Jerusalem, annexation, settlement expansion, settler terrorism, restrictions of movement and access, and ongoing Israeli efforts to undermine the Palestinian Authority and the viability of the two-state solution continue to escalate. Since October 2023, the Palestinian economy has contracted by 30%. Unemployment has risen to 50%, leaving more than 500,000 citizens without jobs. The fiscal gap has reached unprecedented levels due to Israel's continuing withholding of our clearance revenues and the restrictions it has imposed on our financial and economic system. For the past 15 months, Israel has completely suspended regular transfers of Palestinian clearance revenues to our government, severely constraining the Palestinian government's fiscal capacity. Yet, despite these immense challenges, the Palestinian government has remained operational, responsible, and committed to reform, stability, and institution building. Excellencies, when we met under the umbrella of the international partners meeting on Palestine in Brussels in May 2024, about 2 years ago, I presented to the partners our comprehensive reform agenda designed to strengthen our governance, improve public services, enhance accountability, and prepare our institutions for the responsibilities ahead. Together with our European partners, this agenda was later translated into what we call the EU-Palestine Reform Matrix under the EU Programme for Palestinian Recovery and Resilience announced in April 2025. Today, I am pleased to report that the implementation of this reform matrix has exceeded expectations. Reforms have advanced across 4 pillars and 53 different milestones. Despite extraordinary political and fiscal constraints, implementation has remained on track, with most agreed reform measures completed and the remaining actions at advanced stages of implementation. In public financial management, we have strengthened fiscal discipline through expenditure controls, improved debt and fiscal risk management, and advanced reforms aimed at reducing net lending and improving budget sustainability. In the area of social protection, we have
implementation is inconsistent. Following a request of the European Council in June, the Commission presented options to further restrict trade with illegal Israeli settlements. These include a full or partial ban on imports of settlement products, a stricter
supported by national digital platform. I'm pleased to inform you that the final report by the international auditors was completed a few days ago. It clearly confirms that law number 4 of 2025 had now been successfully implemented as a needs-based social care system. In the area of education, curriculum modernization has been advanced, promoting critical thinking, science, technology, civic responsibility, tolerance, and peaceful coexistence consistent with UNESCO standards and international best practice. At the same time, we continue to implement the political reform agenda outlined by President Mahmoud Abbas. Municipal elections have been successfully conducted across Palestine, including in Deir el-Balah and the Gaza Strip last April, demonstrating our continued commitment to democratic participation despite exceptionally difficult circumstances. I'm also pleased to confirm that President Abbas has recently issued a decree calling for national legislative parliament elections throughout Palestine on November 28th of this year. In parallel, we are also working closely with the regional international partners, particularly Saudi Arabia and the United States, on a comprehensive reform program in support of the implementation of the Security Council Resolution 2803. This new program will focus on improving institutional performance, implementing justice sector reform, enhancing security sector performance, and promoting a culture of peace and coexistence. But as I'm sure you agree, reform is not an end in itself. Building on these reforms, our government has therefore adopted an 18-month strategy designed to take us from reform to recovery, resilience, reunification, and state building. The strategy is built around 5 mutually reinforcing pillars. 1, building national resilience and empowering vulnerable communities. 2, strengthening state institutions, governance, and the rule of law. 3, supporting Gaza recovery and gradual restoration of government responsibilities in Gaza. 4, advancing economic self-reliance through investment in productive economic sectors, digital services, food security, and energy security. And finally, 5, advancing political action by expanding recognition of the State of Palestine in partnership with the Global Alliance and our other international partners. Excellencies, we are proud of the reforms we have achieved and confident in the strategy I just outlined. But neither reform nor strategy can succeed without the political and economic conditions necessary for implementation. Economic recovery cannot be restored while revenues continue to be withheld and movement and access remain restricted. Nor can the two-state solution be advanced without meaningful political support and a credible pathway toward ending the occupation. The success of our 18-month strategy, therefore, requires your support in 5 areas. 1, we call on all partners to strengthen their political support for the Palestinian Authority, taking irreversible steps to end illegal Israeli occupation and expanding the recognition of the State of Palestine. 2nd, we call on the EU to transform the 1997 EU-PLO Interim Association Agreement on Trade and Cooperation into a full association agreement. 3rd, we call on the EU and regional international partners to provide immediate and predictable emergency budget support to enable the government to maintain essential basic services, preserve institutional continuity, and sustain the implementation of its reform agenda. 4th, we call for a coordinated international effort to enable the immediate commencement of Gaza's recovery efforts by providing the necessary funding and ensuring the unhindered entry of humanitarian assistance, commercial goods, and reconstruction materials required. And in this context, I would like to commend the Team Europe Plus initiative that was announced today and the launch of the Horizon Fund and other trust funds, including the World Bank Trust Fund, to support these Gaza recovery efforts. And finally, the 5th, we call on all partners to support measures that strengthen Palestinian ability to manage its own economy and public finances. The Paris Protocol, that's the economic annex of the Oslo Agreement, no longer provides a viable framework for the development of the Palestinian economy. Israel's repeated departures from its obligations under the protocol, including the withholding of Palestinian clearance revenues, restrictions on banking relations, continued limitations on repatriation of shekel banknotes, restrictions on the movement of people and goods, and cancelling the permits of Palestinian workers have all severely undermined the Palestinian economy, eroded its stability, and brought it to the brink of collapse. If the custom union trading model adopted by the Paris Protocol can no longer be implemented and respected by the Israeli side, the international community should support us in the establishment of an independent Palestinian custom envelope. Likewise, should the existing banking and monetary arrangements cease to function effectively, support should be provided for the gradual establishment of a Palestinian currency, potentially pegged to the euro or the US dollar, and the upgrading of the Palestinian Monetary Authority into a full-fledged central bank. These measures are essential to advancing Palestinian economic recovery, strengthening economic sovereignty and resilience, reducing dependency, and laying the foundation for long-term stability. Excellencies, in closing, by advancing the implementation of the two-state solution, empowering legitimate Palestinian institutions, supporting economic recovery and reconstruction, we are investing not only in Palestinian future, but also in the regional stability, shared security, and just and lasting peace for everyone. Together, let's plan to move beyond managing crisis toward the realization of a resilient, sovereign, contiguous, and viable Palestinian state. Beyond humanitarian response, we need to move towards sustainable development, and beyond conflict and occupation, we need to move for a future of peace, dignity, and prosperity for all. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank